Want to learn more about your true nature? Check out the many interviews and short videos produced by our friends at ispirit.us. Like their page at facebook.com/ispirit.dotus and browse through their many posts and be inspired by the wonderful and positive messages about life that they share with their community. If you would like to study the works of Spiritism and delve deeper into this philosophy that will be guaranteed to enrich your life by teaching you about the greater life, check out ediseiofamerica.com. At ediseiofamerica.com you can find all of the seminal works of Spiritism written and compiled by Allan Kardec, translated from its original French to English, as well as other Spiritist works that serve to add to the immaterial treasure that is the Spiritist philosophy and doctrine. As one of our subscribers and followers, be sure to use promo code ispirit_love to get 10% off from your next purchase and continue to support this beautiful work of dissemination. ispirit_love to get 10% off from your next purchase. Thank you. Item 18 reads, "Spirits are everywhere, in our midst and at our side, rubbing elbows with us and observing us constantly. Due to their continued presence amongst us, spirits are the agents of diverse phenomena. They perform an important role in our mental world and to a certain degree in our physical world. Consequently, they are one of the forces of nature. So, they are natural. They are part of the natural law because they are part of creation. They are part of the universe. And we don't have to touch on the subject of them being agents of diverse phenomena because we've already covered this. And we've sort of alluded to that in the previous explanation that I had made. Item 19 says, once the survival of the soul or spirit after death is accepted, it is reasonable to accept the survival of affectionate relationships. Otherwise, the souls of our relatives and friends would be lost forever to us. And here's where Spiritism truly is the promised consoler. Because here we have this consolation that the loved ones whom we've lost, who've passed away due to illnesses or any other agents, are still with us. They still vibrate with us because we are linked to them through this thing called love. Love, that divine verb that reigns supreme in the universe, that connects all of us who are in tune with this divine sensation, this divine feeling that truly connects us in a deeper level to one another. So if we pray, if we think about that loved one who has discarnated, who is free from the bonds of the physical envelope, will hear our prayers and he will see us praying for them. And if it is sincere, they will certainly feel that love that we're emanating towards them. So Spiritism allows us to see the envelope for what it is, nothing more than a garment that loved one is wearing temporarily until his period of existence ends here on this planet. Because we all have an expiration date. We all have a date in which we will become expired. We will become no good. And we will have to leave the physical body because it will disintegrate, it will age, and we have to continue onwards with this incessant progress of the spirit that we are. And this is what happens to our loved ones. So how wonderful is it to not think that we've lost them forever? They're still around us, and they're still just a prayer away, a sincere thought away from us. And whenever we're alone and we feel that loving sensation and we're thinking or praying about those specific individuals, you can be certain that they are there with us. So we no longer have to become angry or desperate because of losing a loved one. This is the divine consolation. And the divine consolation goes further that once we leave the material envelope, the corporeal envelope, we will encounter them in the afterlife, if we want to call it that. We will see them, we will meet with them. Of course, there are certain variables to take into account, but we won't go into those at the moment. But we'll be able to get in touch with them once again, embrace them deeply, and they will be able to tell us, see, I was always by your side and I never left you. And how wonderful is this for all of us? This is why Spiritism is so wonderful, because it truly is nothing more than love codified in a sensible way in which we all can understand, and it makes perfect sense, it is logical, and it adheres to reason. And it allows us in this age of technology, of intelligence, to truly understand exactly what life is all about. And it continues. Since spirits can go everywhere, it is also reasonable to assume that those who used to love us during their life on earth continue to love us after death. Of course, that they can approach us, desiring to communicate with us by utilizing the means at their disposal. Experience has confirmed this fact. In effect, experience has shown that spirits hold on to the serious relationships they had while on earth, and that they take delight in coming to those whom they loved, especially when they are attracted by the affectionate thoughts and sentiments sent to them. On the other hand, they are indifferent toward those who show indifference toward them. And this is the same thing as what happens during physical life. If we have people who love us, we want to be around them. If people are indifferent to us, we are not going to be around them, because there's nothing that shares, there's no bond being shared between us. So it makes perfect sense. Everything that we have here is a somewhat rudimentary copy of everything that occurs in the greater life. Item 20 explains all of this and the purpose of Spiritism. Spiritism's objective is to verify and study the manifestations of spirits, their faculties, their happy or unhappy conditions, and their future. In other words, to know about the spirit world, because such manifestations have been confirmed. The result has been the irrefutable proof of the existence of the soul, its survival after the body, and its individuality after death. That is, in essence, the future life. Consequently, it is the negation of materialist doctrines, not only by means of reason, but by the facts that, as we talked about before, were witnessed during the 19th century and are still witnessed to this day, through spirit manifestations, communications of those who have left the body, that have come to prove to us that there is a life, a greater life waiting for us, that this is just a stop in the road to progress. So we have to always remember this, always keep this in mind. Item 21 reads, a more or less normal idea held by persons who are not familiar with Spiritism is the belief that spirits must know all things and possess supreme wisdom simply because they are free of matter. This is a serious mistake. Well, of course, it is a serious mistake, because once we discarnate, we don't become angels. That is not how it works. We don't suddenly develop wings once we leave this life. We're going to continue with the same knowledge that we had, the things that we've acquired in this life, the affinities, the likes, the dislikes, the thoughts, the actions, everything that we have done is going to continue. It's not going to be changed suddenly, because as we know, nature does not take leaps and bounds. Nature is a slow, gradual progress. It takes a really slow, gradual process, adhering to the universal law of progress. So everything moves slowly, but of course there are exceptions to the rule that can be expedited in a sense, but for us, the progress continues. But when we leave the incarnation, when we leave the physical body, we are who we are. We don't change. And we continue on this work of progressing and advancing morally and intellectually while we are liberated spirits, by learning things in the spirit world, so to speak, and continuing forward in the next incarnation, whether it be in this school known as Earth or in another school, to continue to put into practice the things that we learned while we were liberated spirits, so that we may continue to purify ourselves, to improve upon ourselves, our moral faculties, our intelligence, our love, our emotions, so that then maybe in the long term, in the long, far away, distant future, we may become the angels that we talk about, that religion talks about to us here. We may become purified spirits, and then we truly become those angelic beings who have purified themselves completely, like Christ has. But in this sense, here for us at this moment, that's not what happens. We continue to be who we are. So we continue with the same connections that we had before, and those, just like on earth, who are frivolous, who are careless, who are imprudent, who are vindictive, who are jealous, they are going to leave here the same way they were while here. So there are spirits of every kind, of every level of evolution, of every level of progress, just as there are spirits incarnated on earth of every level of evolution and progress, moral and intellectual. On earth we have brutes, We have men who are still in tribes, who we still consider and label primitive compared to those of a civilized society. And the same happens in the spirit world. We have also the spirit brutes, if you want to put it this way, who are part of a primitive spiritual society, as well as we have the civilized ones who are part of a different society. So it works the same way. And we see this because in the different communications and manifestations that come from the spirit world by the way of mediums that are manifested to us, that allows us to witness and evidence the facts of the greater life, we see that there are communications of every level of learning, of every level of evolution. We have communications from spirits who are not very civilized, or from spirits who are emotionally attached to things of the world, spirits who have left behind these attachments and have gone on to seek greater things and come back to leave us lessons that help us to continue forward in the march of progress. It's a beautiful thing. And when we realize this, it all starts to make sense. The universe itself, the entirety of creation, it's not just on Earth. We think that we have to think, not think, but we have to be sure that this occurs in every planet of the world. Every planet of the world, of space, every planet has this same function. It is just a station, a school of life, and the spirits just migrate from one planet to the other as they continue forward, as they progress. It is very interesting, and it is an amazing field of study that humanity has yet to even begin to penetrate. And it is all here. Kardec has given it to us, this blessed work. Not just Kardec, but the greater spirits as well, who worked with Kardec by way of the mediums who also participated in this codification. And it is wonderful. It is a true blessing. It is a promised consoler, as Jesus had said. So let's always remember this. So now we've come to the end of this section entitled Concerning Spirits. We will continue with our study of what is Spiritism in our next video. And I thank you all once again, and I encourage all of you to read the book, all of its chapters, because it is very illuminating, very elucidating, and it helps us, as always, to see life for what it is, a beautiful blessing. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your attention, for your kindness and your charity in listening to me. And I hope that this is continuing to be something that is helping you to understand what life is all about and clarifying things for you as it has clarified for me. It's a blessing to me, and I hope I'm able to share this with you as well. So may God bless each and every one of you, and may Jesus Christ guide you all in your footsteps. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all next time.